Hello everyone, welcome to my currently inked for the month of March 2025. I have 11 fountain pens inked up, plus a few extras that I'll talk a little bit about. And I also have a kind of not really an unboxing, but I'm going to go through a pen that I got on a super discount in case you're interested. So I'll talk a little bit about that as well at the end. So I'm going to get started so the video isn't too long. First pen we have is the Majohn C5. Doodlebug did a really good review of this pen. He wasn't too impressed with it. He found it clunky, and I do agree that it's a bit clunky. I also didn't really bond with it at first, but I really enjoy it now. For me, it took a few tries to get used to the, I guess it's bulky. And it's kind of, like he said, I do agree that it's kind of clunky, but I do really enjoy this pen. Again, this is the Majohn C5. What I appreciate about this pen is, you have this easy button filler. It's really easy to fill and to clean. And I just appreciate the fine polishing on this acrylic. And this acrylic also feels really good in the hand to me. Very smooth, very solidly built pen. It does have that little, it's more of a roll stop than a clip, but it does work as a clip. But definitely this is not something that you can put in your shirt pocket or anything, but I really don't put my pens in shirt pocket. You do see there's a little bit of a leakage there, but no issues with this pen, no hard starting, it's always worked. There's a nib. This is a fine steel Majohn or Moonman nib. All of this is just very smooth, very comfortable, but it is kind of bulky. You can post it if you want, but it's really long. But this is the Majohn. I'll zoom in a little bit. Majohn C5. This is a fine steel nib. It is a pretty broad fine, feels more like a medium to me. I did find this nib to be a little bit too smooth for me, so I just ran it across some fine grit sandpaper, just a few swipes, and it was fine. When a nib is too smooth, in my opinion, it's hard for me to control it. So that's the Majohn C5. This is inked with Diamond Ancient Copper, plus just a tad bit of mica powder. I have mica bronze and mica gold in here, powder, to give it a little shimmer. I'm experimenting with that. So we'll see how this looks when I show you it up close. But that's the Majohn C5. I really enjoy this pen. Next pen is the Lamy Studio. This is in stainless steel, very light. Unlike the stainless steel Lamy 2000 that I talked about a couple of videos ago, this is a very light pen. You do see here that I do have a piece of tape on this because of this clip. This clip rotates back and forth. And taking it out of the box, it had already had I don't know if you can see it, but when this clip goes back and forth, it will scratch your finish. So I put a little piece of tape on there for now just to avoid that. So Lamy Studio. And this is a fine steel also. And you can see the difference in the fine steel of the Majohn C5 and this Lamy Studio. Super firm nib, but very nice to write with. I find this very comfortable to write with in both hands. It does post. You just have to snap it on, and then it's very secure. But I avoid capping it because I'm assuming at some point this stainless steel is going to scratch up, so Trying to avoid that as much as possible. Has a nice brushed stainless steel finish to it. Again, I don't like this clip, and I've stated that before in some of my talks about I have two other, one in blue and one in all black. So that's the Lamy Studio, and it's inked with J. Arbonne Gris Orage or Stormy Gray. Next we have the Twis Precision. This is an extra fine. I didn't really like this nib. I found it to be extremely scratchy. So I think it was about last October, I spent a lot of time on my pens just getting the nibs tweaked, and this was one of the pens that I worked on. It's a piston filler, has a nice ink window. It reminds me of the Rotring 600 that I also showed a couple of videos ago, just from the shape. But all in all, they're very different pens. Again, this is a piston filler. It says right back here, Twis Precision, Taiwan. Very nice. There's the nib. This is an extra fine. Nice, comes with a nice clip. You can post it. It does post. It's somewhat long, but not too bad. But I don't post it. And up here, top finial, it's just the normal Twisby. A pretty thin pen. Twisby Precision. Again, I didn't like this pen at all when I first got it. And there's still a bit of a sweet spot with this. And this has always been inked with Robert Oster whiskey. Scratchy in reverse, but it does work. And this is another pen that feels very comfortable in my left hand. You can see it does have some feedback. Kind of a noisy writer, but all in all, I'm enjoying this pen now. The one thing about it is that if you really want to get this tight, it doesn't quite line up. The facets don't line up. So when they do line up, it's kind of loose. But other than that, it's a cool pen. If I were to repurchase this, I would probably get a medium or a fine, not the extra fine. So moving along, we have the new Talisman, and this is in Dream Bean. It's a beautiful Talisman. And it has my Schmidt. It's a Schmidt fine. One of my favorite nibs to use is a Schmidt. So Benu. It's a fine. It's a thick fine also, like the Majohn. Some line weight variation if you push it, but I don't think it likes to be pushed. As you can see by that railroading. Nice in reverse. This is inked with J. Arbonne Carub du Chypre. Nice brown with, I think it has some shimmer in it, if I'm not mistaken. Do I have the bottle here? Yes, I have the bottle. So this is Carub du Chypre. It's a nice gold shimmer at the bottom. Next is one of my favorite Leonardos. This is the Leonardo Momento Zero Foresta Umbra. This is a gold spot exclusive. I have 117 out of 150 here. Just a beautiful, beautiful green and brown. And this is always inked with Diamond Inkvent 2022 Spruce. I think the forest theme goes very well with spruce. Plus, I love scented ink, so anytime I get to use spruce, I will use it. I love the way it smells. And I think this pen is just about on fumes for Resta Umbra. This is also a fine steel. I have a lot of fine steels this month. Very smooth Leonardo nib. And the spruce, I just love the way it smells. So that's the, see on the back, it says Gold Spot. Leonardo for Gold Spot and my number. I'll show you the nib up close. There's the nib, just a plastic feed. You can see the spruce back there. Very nice. Just a, yeah, it has a blind cap. It's a cartridge converter filler with a blind cap. Again, another pen that feels good in both hands. Moving on, we have my old standby, the Pilot Elite E95S. This one is medium, 14 karat gold. Does have a few scuffs here from bumping up against the other pens in my case. I also have a fine and an extra fine. I think the fine is in black and the extra fine is in this color as well, but I think most of us have seen this pen, so I'll just move on. So the Pilot E95S, and I typically always post this pen unless I'm writing a quick note or something. So this is a medium, 14 karat. I think I have 3 gold nibs. Most of the rest of them are steel nibs. This inlaid nib doesn't flex too much. It doesn't do much in reverse. Lovely pen. Next we have the Moonman or Majohn V60. There's been a lot of back and forth about this pen. I pretty much went by Stephen Brown's video to decide to purchase this pen. I thought he had a good perspective on this pen. Yes, the piston knob does feel a little, it feels a little soft, a little cheap. I have 3 of these. I have a white one and I have a red one, plain red, and this one all in silver trim. And I think this one feels a little bit more solid than the 2, but the piston knob just feels a little delicate, I'll say that. And I think this is a little sharp. It could be smoothed a little bit better, but other than that, I really enjoy this pen. I bought this one from a sale on AliExpress. I ordered a fine nib, but it came housed with a long blade nib. They did send the fine with it, but the long blade was the one that was actually in the pen. And my first impression was ew, because I like finer nibbed pens. But the more that I wrote with it, the more that I enjoyed the long blade. And so I probably won't go through the effort of putting in the fine, because my other one, my red one's a fine and my white one I think is an extra fine. So there's no use in having 2 fines. So this is a long blade, and I think the long blade goes really well with this Diamond Spiced Apple. Spiced Apple is a heavy, sheening, very viscous ink. So it's never hard started, and considering how viscous this ink is, that's a pretty good testament. Again, I think this is an excellent pen. If you don't go through the effort of trying to break it, I don't think you are going to break it. I think this posting or this capping could be a little bit deeper, but again, I haven't had any issues with it drying out. I think I don't have an OMAS 360. It did take a little bit of getting used to, as far as, you know, it's triangular and your grip is kind of forced to be a certain way, but you know, I really enjoy this. And again, I think Steven did a good job on his video putting some perspective with regard to this pen. Next we have the Pider Mystery Fast Filler. I talked about this pen a little bit a couple of months ago. Not a couple of months ago. I talked a little bit about this pen a couple videos ago. Again, it has this nib, this black coated nib. I actually bought some touch-up paint because this annoys me. So I'm gonna fix that. And I'm not gonna glue the tines together like Pider did. And this is a really cool filling system. It is a really fast filler. I think it takes like one turn and it's full. Something with the way they have the call those threads, or some way they designed those that it only takes a turn or two to fill it up completely. So this is the Pider. This nib did take a little bit of tweaking, but not much. And you can tell that I tweaked it because this is supposed to be an extra fine, but it writes pretty much like a fine. But I really like the way this writes. Reverse. A little scratchy, but not bad. Very nice pen. After this, I'm gonna work on that nib a little bit to get it looking a little bit better. But all in all, that's a really good Pider. Next, we have the Palette Justice 95. And it has this adjustable nib. I think I have it on the soft setting. If I turn it, then that moves. So it just makes it, when it's back here, it's softer and it puts down more ink. When it's up here, you have it's a harder nib, and so you're not putting down quite as much ink. And I did a review of this pen probably early in my journey. It's a pretty uninformed review. So I was under the impression that when you put it down here for the soft setting, that it's supposed to add flex, but that's not what it's designed to do. It's just more of a feel thing more than a flex. So it's Palette Justice 95. This is a medium 14 karat. So this is how it looks on soft. Now you do get some flex, but it's mostly, like I said, for feel and for the amount of ink you put down. Pretty nice in reverse. So I'm going to move it up here to the firm so you can see. So it's just ever slightly a little thinner of a line than the other. And this is inked with Diamond Golden Sands. It's pretty much always been inked with Diamond Golden Sands, which is also a heavy shimmer ink, but no issues with the nib being affected by the shimmer. It's always started up. It's a fairly big palette pen, but it's comfortable, postered or not. Has this texture in it. That's also different than most palette pens. Very nice pen. Again, my prior review was very uninformed, but I think it did provide a good overview of the pen, at least. And next is my favorite platinum. This is the Platinum Classic Maki-e, and this is the Mount Fuji. I love, love, love this pen. So it's a bit of a thin pen. So this is the Platinum Classic Maki-e. I really like maki-e pens. I think they're beautiful. Mount Fuji. I also have a fine, I think the Cherry Blossoms, but the medium is by far my favorite. And my favorite ink to have in this one is, it's very nice in reverse, it's Diamond Oxford Blue with this beautiful red sheen that it has. That's the nib. This is a medium 18 karat. This is a bit of a pricey pen, but I don't regret this at all. I forget the ink that I had in here. I think I had like a Diamond, Ox Blood, or Writer's Blood. It did tarnish this down here a little bit, and I just took some fine grit sandpaper to get the tarnish off, but it's been fine with the Oxford Blue. Lovely pen. Lastly, as far as my fountain pens, I almost forgot this one. This is I guess a hand-painted Chinese body. I don't know exactly who made this body. I bought this off of AliExpress from Lucifer Store or Lucifer Store or something like that. And I know 365 Day Stationery also has a lot of offerings for this. But basically, they make these bodies. They don't come with a nib, but if you have a Pilot Custom 743, a 70, what's a 74 or 92, one of those, as well as a Platinum 3776 and a Sailor 14 karat or Sailor 21 karat, then you get the body according to the nib section that you want to use. I'm using my Pilot Custom 743 in here, and I don't really like, taking parts off, separating the nib from my pens or the section from my pens. So I tried every other like Jinhao that I could find. I was going to sacrifice the body to put in here, but this only worked with the Pilot 743. So this is a no name hand painted body. With a Pilot Custom 743. And this is a soft fine 14 karat section. And I always ink the 743 with the Pilot Iroshizuku Tsukiyo. And this is the Pinnacles. This is the 14 karat gold Pilot 743 nib. Soft fine. And it's very, very exact. Very smooth. I have a lot of Jinhao 90. It's a 92, the little Jinhao that looks like the Sailor Progress Slims. So I was wondering if they were the ones that fit in the 14 karat body, but yeah, I didn't get those. I thought the Jinhao, I would be willing to sacrifice one of those bodies, but this works. It's really it's just my quirk and not wanting to separate the section from the pen, but very beautiful. hand painted. I don't know if they're really using gold flakes and rotten, but it looks like it. Again, there's no branding on the clip. But this looks very much like an expensive rotten pen. This cost $90 for this body. So I've been really enjoying that. And as far as extras, I've been really getting into using rollerballs that use fountain pen ink. So this is my Tag Submarine. This is inked with, I think it's running a little low. This is inked with, what is this inked with? Diamond Ink Vent. What is this? This is Tag Submarine. It's Diamond Ink Vent. I'm having trouble thinking. It's not even on the tip of my tongue. Diamond Ink Vent. It's Ink Vent 2022 Jingleberry. Rollerballs are probably my favorite pens to write with, and when you add the option of being able to use custom inks, fountain pens, ink in it, I really kind of gravitated towards these. Kind of the best of both worlds. I did try to put some shimmer. I tried to put some Wearing Gold 1984 in it, and 1984 has quite a bit of shimmer. And I knew it wasn't going to work, but I just had to try it. Where's my Wearing Gold 1984? Probably not here. But 1984 has quite a bit of gold shimmer, I think. So I tried it, and no, it didn't work. Of course, it clogged. And all it took was a little cleaning to get it out. It wasn't affected or anything, but definitely don't put any shimmer inks in these. And this is my Retro 51. This is actually a fountain pen, but you can buy the Retro 51 sections. And this is inked with, I think this is inked with Andrelium Cuttlefish Brown. Works very nicely. Of course, with these, you're not going to see any shading or anything really. And this one has worked pretty well. This is a Schneider. The ink that came with it wasn't very nice, but I found a cartridge, Dryden cartridge, which works a little bit better. The ink that it came with was very washed out. This is a little darker. This one was worked very well. It's very comfortable. This pen was about $13. The section for this was $26. And this one is the most expensive. This is $129. And it has this, I have to do a review of this pen. I also have the fountain pen version. It has this, not really a blind cap, but you can, adjust your ink without having to unscrew it. You can move the piston using that knob. And this is an off-brand one. This is a very fine point rollerball. I think the company that sold it is called Shinofi. This is a very fine point. This has Tasha Sabi Midori, one of my favorite inks in it. Again, this is a very fine point. This pen got Sabi Midori. Didn't get very great reviews, but I haven't had any issues with it. A lot of reviews were saying that it leaked, but I stored this upside down for a couple of days, and it hasn't leaked or anything. And this one is nice. It's a piston filler. So I got 2 of these for $10. I only wish that they had a little, this is a 0.38, I believe, point. I wish they had like a 0.5 or something. But I've been enjoying this pen so far. And this one, this is a J. Arbonne. This one does skip on me a little bit. Kind of hard starts. I have, forget what this is. I think this is Oxblood or Ancient Copper in here. J. Arbonne. Yes, it's Diamond Ancient Copper. And this didn't come with a converter or anything. It's just a cartridge that I filled up. But I like the way this feels. I like the feel of this plastic. It just, it does skip a little bit on me. It's not as reliable as the other four. This one was about $13 as well. So that's my rollerballs that use fountain pen ink. I'm going to do a review of all of these at some point, more detailed review. So I'm going to go through, show you these inks one more time, and then I'm going to talk about my super buy. So the Majohn C5 with Diamond Ancient Copper, Lamy Studio with J. Arbonne Greek Orage, Bravo Oster Whiskey and the Twis Precision. I love the way they look together. Carub de Chypre in the new Talisman. Carub de Chypre should have a little bit of shimmer there. I'm not sure if it's showing. Leonardo Momento Zero. Foresta Umbra with the beautiful Diamond Inkvent 2022. Spruce. Nice red sheen there. Pilot E95S with the Pilot Iroshizuku Yamabudo. Now, I normally like my E95S with the Pilot cartridges that it came with, the blue and the black. The Yamabudo, I'm not sure if I really like it. I just prefer the plain old Pilot and the Miki blue and black in those. But I wanted to try something different this month. Majohn V60, the Diamond Inkvent 2022. Spiced apple. See all that sheen and shimmer. Has sheen and shimmer. Again, a great pen that has handled sheen and shimmer with no problem. Has that long blade steel nib. Pilot Mystery Fast Filler with the Private Reserve Sherwood Green. Sherwood Green Fast Dry has a little bit of a red sheen to it. Pilot Justice 95 with the Diamond Golden Sands. Has some quite a bit of shimmer. I think I have the Golden Sands here so you can see how much shimmer is in here. See all this shimmer. Again, the Justice handles the shimmer with no problem whatsoever. Platinum Classic Maki-e Mount Fuji with Diamond Oxford Blue, one of my favorite blues with the red sheen. And lastly, we have the hand-painted body with the Pilot Custom 743 section. Pilot Iroshizuku Tsukiyo. And now I'm going to get to my PSA, my public service announcement. Hopefully I can enable some people. So I had a co-worker tell me about Joma Shop. And Joma Shop is a gray cell retailer. And I found this Visconti Opera. This is Visconti Opera Master, Visconti Opera Gold. This pen normally sells for about $345. And I got it for $85. So I was a little concerned about Joma Shop. Although my coworker told me about it, so I trust him. But this is my first time ordering, so I did a little research to make sure they weren't counterfeiters, and they are not counterfeiters. They are what you call gray market retailers. So if you buy something from them, you won't get the manufacturer's warranty, but they do have their own warranty, Joma Shop, if you want to return something. And you may not get the normal box that you would get from Visconti. So this one came in this small box. Normally the box is probably about 3 times the size with the nice pillow. But I think what they do is they sell like closeouts. And so you may not get all the materials that you would normally get, but you save an incredible amount of money, and this is definitely not a fake. One thing I am pretty good at is knowing what's fake from what's not. And this is not a fake. This is the packaging it came with. Get a 10% coupon, and it shows you a receipt. So they normally sell it for $260, but they have a special now. So I saved $175. So with tax, it was $96.45, which is an incredible deal for this Visconti. Because I'm greedy, I bought a blue one. So this one has a broad nib, and I bought a medium in blue. And this Visconti is a Opera Gold, is one of their vac fillers with the double reservoir. So this is an authentic Visconti, but if you're interested, please do your own research. There are quite a bit of reviews of Majohn Shop, and as well as some YouTube videos that describe how they are able to sell these at such a discounted price. I will show you how this uses a hook lock safe mechanism. There's a broad nib, the bead. It has these facets. I really like the black. Again, I use the Visconti my pen system. Again, it's something, you are taking a chance. If something does go wrong, you can't send this back to Visconti. Honestly, I'm not sure how good Visconti's customer service is. I did have the one issue with my Vincent van Gogh. The magnet fell out, and I contacted customer service, and they never got back to me. So this is the Visconti. This is a heavy pen. Not too many reviews on this, but there's some out there. This was a broad, but it was way too thick for me. So I tweaked it a little bit. And this is inked with, what did I ink this with? Oh, this is inked with Birmingham Pen Company. Birmingham Pen Company Oil Beetle. You can post it, but it's heavy and it's long, but it does work. But I'm very happy to find this. Actually, they come in this black with some gold in it mixed in, and the blue one, and there's a red one as well. So I think this one's broad. I have a medium on the way. I may get a fine because it's such a good deal. But again, that's the, if you're interested, it's Majohn Shop. The broad is okay. It was super, super thick. I think I'm happy with this now. I don't think I'm going to do any more tweaking to it. I need to have some variety in my fountain pen collection. This is it in reverse. I did do a little work on it in reverse as well, so I can be able to use it in reverse. So that's a Visconti Opera Gold. So thank you for watching. Hope you're all doing well, and I'll catch you in the next video. Take care.